For more on all this, retired NYPD Inspector Paul Mauro. Paul, there's a lot of legal stuff to get into, but first, just common sense. We let in entire gangs who set up shops in places like New York City and even in smaller places like Aurora, Colorado, where they work together as a unit, as organized crime, and none of them were vetted. Not only were they not vetted when they came in, but we gave them, through taxpayer largesse, we gave them free rooms in hotels, plane tickets to places like Aurora, free food, debit cards, you name it. We gave it to them. Don't we deserve to send them back instead of paying now for their legal fees to try to bring them back?
Well, this is working out right according to plan for Mayorkas and company, because they brought in 20 million unvetted. If even 1% is a criminal element, you're talking about $200,000. And now the whole gang is forum shopping on the left to make sure they get to easy judges, progressive judges who are going to go along with their demands. And as a result, they're gumming up the process in order to keep all of these people here. And by the way, CNN really needs to get their operational legs under them, because first of all, how do they know that there was no intel gathering on that leader, number one? Number two, you don't flip down, you flip up. This guy is the leader of MS-13, according to them. He's not flipping. The best chance you have to get intel out of him is if you send him back to El Salvador. He spends a week in that prison and then says, hey, let's cut a deal. So they have no idea what they're talking about there, and that's an ignorant statement.
Well, the legal part of it, there is one thing that even President Trump addressed last Friday, and I think we have the soundbite of President Trump talking about that, where he said, look, if anybody who is truly innocent was swept up in this move to send the mostly creeps down to the prison in El Salvador, which is a really tough time, we should try to vet them in that prison. Let me just roll the Trump tape and get your quick reaction. Roll it.
I was told that they went through a very strong vetting process, and that that will also be continuing in El Salvador. And if there's anything like that, we would certainly want to find out. But these were a bad group. This was a bad group, and they were in bad areas, and they were with a lot of other people that were absolutely killers, murderers, and people that were really bad, with the worst records you've ever seen. And but we will continue that process, absolutely. We don't want to make that kind of a mistake.
So we don't want to make that kind of a mistake. He's at least sensitive to that issue. And do you think that something can be worked out between this particular judge, Boasberg, I think is his name, and the White House? Quickly.
Well, it's already going up on appeal, and where the rubber's hitting the road is right where the president is talking about. Number one, can they demonstrate that these guys are members of the cartels, whether it's TDA, MS-13, or a Mexican cartel? And then you have to show that they were under the auspices of a government in order to use the statute they use. So they have a couple of legal hurdles here.
But of course, the Maduro regime had used these gangs before for their various illegal operations. So they could probably prove that point as well. Paul Mauro, great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.